Hello everybody, my name is Devansh and I welcome you to the pre-scene analysis part 1. Yet another pre-scene, yet another analysis from Finntutors. So if you don't already know, Finntutors is a CIMA registered tuition provider winning the Global Pass Rate Excellence Award for 2 years in a row now. We have achieved this success only because of the comprehensive material that we create and the genuinity in our courses, in our explanations that we try to transfer to our students, which they pick up from and then eventually do well in their exams. So today I'm here to do the pre-scene analysis with you. You'll see how detailed our pre-scene analysis is, how candid our pre-scene analysis is, which helps you understand the company, Saefwell, which is very important to do well on the exam. Specifically in the strategic case study exam, if you don't know your company well, you can never do well on the exam, because the role of a senior finance manager is one where you will bare minimum need to know the details of your company's operations. And for us, that's the pre-scene analysis. So it's a very detailed pre-scene analysis I have created for you. Another new and an updated announcement which I want to get to you is that we have now a free mini course available for all CIMA students. We are doing this mini course with different CIMA offices all over the world and I want to share it with you. It's absolutely free. The link is in the description below. Now you'll ask me, what is this mini course? Now, through this YouTube platform, I can get only a limited number of information and limited number of videos to you. But this exam covers so much. There is so much that I want to share with you. So I have made it part of my free mini course. This mini course includes an extra industry analysis, the top 10 issues which I feel will come up in the exam have been discussed. There is a free mini mock exactly like the exam which you will receive personalized feedback on. There is tips to creating your own study plan. There is the blueprint, CIMA, I can statement explanations and a whole lot of different bonus material available. Trust me, it's worth it and it's absolutely free. The link is in the description box below. Just click on the link. It will take you to my mini course and you can start studying right now itself. It will prove immensely beneficial for you. I'm sure about that because it's well curated material by me. It's free. Try it. It's in the description below. Without further ado, let's begin with this pre-scene analysis. Before I start with the introduction, let me get this very clear of how this pre-scene analysis is going to work. So the first thing that I want you to understand is that my pre-scene analysis is based wholly on the pre-scene that is released by CIMA. There is nothing that we have actually changed from the actual pre-scene. What we do is we take the actual pre-scene which is released by CIMA and then add our own suggestions to it, not changing anything. And rest assured that everything in the pre-scene released by CIMA is covered by us. We are not going to miss out on anything or leave out on anything, so please do not worry about that. All you have to do is watch my video from the very beginning carefully and everything will be covered. That's the first instruction. The second instruction is, while I go through the pre-scene with you, I am going to repeatedly point out E3, P3 and F3 syllabus areas or topics which I feel are important, and I will also be pointing out important aspects in the pre-scene by highlighting them like you can see on your screen to make sure that we understand the major points. So I want you to have a Word file or a piece of paper with you where you are writing down the important topics from E3, P3 and F3 which I point out. So you understand that these are the bare minimum topics which you should have knowledge of and which you should have revised in your own time so that it can make so that the pre-scene will make more sense, and because these topics can be tested in the exam. So first, everything is covered in my pre-scene. Second, make a list of important topics which I discuss with you. And third, very important, watch my pre-scene analysis with commitment, conviction, and without any disturbance. And everything will fall into place. That's how student friendly it is. That's how understandable it is, because that's how we create it. So let's start. SafeWell is a quoted company that offers advice and support on corporate security and enterprise risk management. So ERM and corporate security is something that our company offers advice and support for. Now, anything which I find important, I will always highlight. So I found two things important. Firstly, quoted company and advice and support. So because quoted company is mentioned, let me know and keep in my mind quickly that because we are listed on the stock exchange, we have to discuss the benefits and limitations of being a listed company quickly. Advantages are you have access to capital, you can issue new shares if you need capital, you have better visibility because everybody can know your stock price easily because you are listed. The disadvantages are there are lots of reporting requirements, there are lots of government requirements, which if you don't meet, there can be fines and penalties. So okay, let me keep it in my mind from the onset that I am a listed company. And because we are talking about listing, it will be important because any listed company's financial statements, if you would have seen, you will see that there will be a whole detailed financial report. Statement of profit or loss, statement financial position, cash flow statement, profitability ratios, lender ratios, investor ratios, all of this will be very clearly there, right? So for my company as well, these ratios which are there in your F3 syllabus, you see how I'm linking the pre-scene to your syllabus areas? So these ratios are there in your syllabus area. So revising the use of these ratios, revising what these ratios are, is a very important place to start with. This is from your F3 syllabus. Let's continue. The company offers a number of different services ranging from provision of security guarding. So security guarding is your physical security, to consulting on enterprise risk management, which is your risk advisory or cyber security guidance, let's put it that way, because that's one risk as well for every enterprise today, right? Consultancy activities range from advising on systems to counter security threats, both physical and cyber, to the provision of intelligence and investigations intended to address evolving threats. Now, if you have done my industry analysis carefully, you will be able to make sense of what physical security options are there and what the market is like, what cyber security options are there and what the market is like. So this will make more sense to you. That is why my industry analysis is very important to first go through. So those who haven't gone through the industry analysis yet, please go through it. It's available on your dashboard, plus it's available in my mini course as well. So consultancy, again just summing it up, our company offers physical as well as cyber security consultancy activities, plus provision of intelligence and investigations. Whatever investigations needed to be done in your organization against threats which are repeatedly coming up are services which your organization is providing. Let's move on. You are a senior manager in SafeWell's finance function. You want to call it SafeWell or SafeWell, whatever, it's a proper noun. You can pronounce it however you want, but I hope you're understanding me. So you are a senior manager. In my introductory video itself, it is very clearly mentioned that in the strategic case study exam, you are given the role of a senior finance manager. Now, a senior manager needs to look at long-term strategic issues. So your audience will be the board of directors, and to give a satisfactory answer understanding the full scale of the business operations is going to be very, very important. So if you don't go through the pre-scene, you can't advise well for your company, which means you are not going to be a good senior finance manager, which is not a good, which is not going to eventually give you marks when you write mock questions. So understanding your company is very, very important, specifically in the strategic case study exam. That is why this detailed 3-hour pre-scene analysis has been created for you. There's no other reason. I don't, go into details if not needed. These details are needed. That is why I'm spending time on all of these minute details one by one. So, senior manager, long-term issues. So, if I think of long-term focus or the role of a senior manager in today's modern world, it will include, product related support, diversification related support, strategy related support, long-term financing, advising the top management. So if I keep these 4 or 5 points in my mind and try to think of, where I have seen these concepts, it will directly take you to your E3, P3 and F3 syllabus. This is directly there in your blueprints, which CIMA has released, your ICANN statements, which CIMA has released. So it's very clear that if you want to be a good senior manager, the knowledge of concepts from E3, P3 and F3 is very, very, very important. And guess what? We now have AI, which is artificial intelligence. The Fin AI has just been introduced in your SCS revision course, which helps you revise very simple, easy topics by just asking a simple question. So just go to our revision course. In the Fin AI section, type out, for example, Porter's 5 forces summary. The AI will generate the answer for you to go through that revision in a quick and easy way. Gone are the days where you have to open up the long 200-page books and read and find stuff. Fin AI, it's one of a kind, entire world, only Finntutors is doing it. It's available in our revision course to help you quickly revise, because a lot of my strategic level students are going to be full-time working professionals in high positions, or they're full-time working. So we have created new and innovative ways to help you quickly revise, and Fin AI is a huge step towards your quick revision. So coming back, concepts in E3, P3 and F3 are very important to be a good senior finance manager, and revision is the place to start with. So your ICANN statement explanations, your blueprint explanations, you will see that the topics which I point out throughout the pre-scene analysis will be ones which are corresponding with the blueprint areas, because we know what the blueprint areas are. We have created a one-of-a-kind blueprint explanation document as well, which is going to come to you later on in the course. No other tuition provider again does this, but we will provide that to you later on in the course. Right now it's time to understand our company. So senior manager meaning long-term issues, meaning good E3, P3 and F3 background. So you report directly to the board and advise on special projects and strategic matters. Everything related to strategy, new strategy, new product, new diversification areas, strategy is there in your E3 syllabus. The E3 syllabus is a major pillar for this exam. So SafeWell operates on a global basis with regional offices in several countries. So it's a clear indication given to you that we are a company that is not a local company. It's a multinational company. So this will bring in complexities in terms of foreign currency risk and interest rate risk. So your concepts on foreign currency risk, interest rate risk from your F3 syllabus become very, very important here, because from the hedging perspective, these become very important discussions. So already pointing out concepts from E3, P3 and F3 that you specifically have to revise bare minimum. So its head office is in Barland, a developed country that has an active and well-regulated stock exchange. So now over here what they're telling me is that I am situated in a well-developed country. Great, because in my industry analysis as well, I have learned that these sophisticated services are generally very popular in highly developed countries, because that's where the rules of risk management, the rules of cybersecurity are very well laid out, and many businesses are employing these safety providing organizations. So already I know there is a plus point for me to be situated in Barland as my head office, because it opens up advantages such as, because it's a developed economy, it opens up advantages such as better infrastructure, better workforce availability, and nearby businesses or local businesses having the spending power. Make a note, Barland is a developed country, developed economy. This means that businesses will have the interest and money to spend on physical security and are also spending on innovative and technologically developed digital security services. So my local country is going to be a good source of, let's say, income for me, a good source of customer availability for me, because it's a developed economy. So let me keep this in mind. This tells me that from the Porter's Diamond, whenever you are expanding, because you are a multinational company, you're always going to be looking to expand. So whenever you are expanding, you generally look at the factors of a country which are suitable for your industry. So over here, demand conditions are very suitable for Barland. I will try to see which other countries in the world. From our industry analysis, we have already learned that Asia Pacific is a major growth aspect. So when I'm growing, I will want to keep in mind the demand factors of a particular country before I decide to expand over there. So Barland's currency is the B dollars, and Barland requires companies to prepare their financial statements in accordance with the IFRS rules. Very simple, very straightforward introduction done for you. Now let's start with some background of this industry, which is given to us in the pre-scene itself. So this is industry analysis given in the pre-scene itself. But guess what? If you've done my industry analysis, then you've automatically covered all of this, plus some, a lot of important information and data summarized for you. But this pre-scene industry analysis that you see on your screen is important for us to still go through, because this will be SafeWell specific analysis that they want you to know before they actually start giving you information about our company. So first we did the introduction. Now we are doing security industry analysis, which is part of the pre-scene. So the modern day security industry dates back to the middle of the 19th century. Previously, security companies provided little more than physical protection for individuals and for property. Earlier, the word security meant physical security. By the mid 1800s, security companies started to offer intelligence-led services, primarily focusing on protecting clients from your loss. These services included counter-espionage and fraud investigation. If something wrong is going on in your organization, security services started providing analysis as well of the same. This was termed as intelligence services. So considering the nature of the business, having a strong external market analysis and customer analysis will be very important for us, because you can see every century, or rather in today's modern world, in a decade, 2 decades, 50 years, industry hugely changes. So if I want to be aware of the changes which are happening in the industry, a strong external market analysis and a strong customer requirement analysis will be needed, which means I will need to have specific skills within my organization to analyze the external market, because this could be a competitive advantage for me as a company, as Saefwell. And because I'm speaking about external market analysis, competitor analysis, customer analysis, your E3 syllabus is going to cover these concepts. So you should know the different external market analysis tools, the customer analysis tools. It's there in your E3 syllabus. Typically, a major security company will offer some or all of the following services. First, very standard on-site guarding. Clients often outsource their physical security arrangements to security companies. On-site guarding can be, staff reception desks, entrances, checking visitor credentials, patrolling premises, providing security staff for retail shops. Very standard on-site guarding. This is the first service offered by major security companies. The second one is mobile guarding. Now, mobile guarding uses vehicle patrols to visit client premises at random intervals. Security guards will check if the doors are locked and there is no sign of anything going wrong. So, mobile guarding. Third is remote services. Clients can pay to have their electronic security systems monitored when their premises are unoccupied. Security companies have control rooms that receive any notifications if something is going wrong. And staff are trained to respond to any alarms, usually by notifying the police and a designated contact such as a manager. So remote services is remotely keeping an eye on your premises, on your assets, to make sure nothing has gone wrong. Now these, you can see the varying nature of services. There is on-site service, there is mobile guarding, there is remote service, and furthermore which we are going to learn, which we are going to go through. So you can see the different kind of services which are being provided, and this is the reason why this industry is rapidly growing. And these are areas that SafeWell needs to explore as well and market around as well. Now, when I go to analyzing my company, in this pre-scene analysis, when I actually reach the information about my company, I want to make sure that I understand the services which my company is offering. Next service is corporate investigations. Most large security companies can carry out specific investigations tailored to your need. For example, counter espionage, including the investigation of suspicions that intellectual property has been copied and is being abused. For example, somebody copied my software and somebody is using it. So let me hire a security company to check if this is actually the case. Then I can sue the other company, right? So this is one service. Second is fraud investigations. If you feel something has gone wrong, some fraud has occurred in your organization, you hire a security company for fraud investigation as well. Third, you have vetting potential appointees as well. So such as individuals who are being considered for appointment of senior positions. Let's say you are having a new CFO. You want to check if that CFO's record is really good in the industry. So let me again hire a security firm. So again, you can just see the variety of services and variety of the far-reaching nature of security services. So the more services, the more products you as a security providing company come up with and give your clients, the more is going to be your revenue generation, right? Earlier security was only physical security, but then companies started offering this risk management, your corporate investigations, remote services, etc., etc., etc. That's how companies are now earning more and more and more. So always being on the lookout for new products, new services, new market opportunities is going to be important. We've already spoken about this in the industry analysis, plus over here of having a strong external market analysis. Then you have risk management. Security companies can provide consultancy support, advising management concerning strategic risks. So actually, picking up strategic risks and giving opportunities and ways of how you can manage them. Now, from our industry analysis and from all of this service providing options that are given to us, it's very clear that this is a fragmented market, which means different companies are going to be providing different services at different price points. So managing change within the business environment will be important. Change management is an E3 concept. Again, lots of competition in this market. So competition analysis methods, different benchmarking techniques from your E3 syllabus are also becoming important over here. Security companies generally focus on risk management and the development of controls and other procedures for the management of risks. Now, the concept of risk management for different types of risks is a vital part of this company as it's part of our operations itself. Different types of controls that you as a company can put within your operations, plus suggest to other clients different types of internal controls, different systems of internal controls which you can have internally, plus which you can suggest to your clients, is important to know. And this is clearly from your P3 syllabus. Risk management, entire P3 syllabus is based on risk management itself. Specifically over here, the internal controls concept is spoken about. Next service is security assessment. Security companies are often asked to evaluate existing corporate security systems. So I can hire a security company, to check my current physical security effectiveness, cyber security effectiveness. If they say that these current systems are effective, good thing. If they say that there needs to be a change, good thing. But these companies are hired so that they can give me this advice. I then have training. So training services. Security companies can provide courses for management and staff at all levels to help them understand the current physical or cyber security needs and processes of a company. So now just think, the security industry, a company who is in the security services providing industry, includes planning, implementation, control of physical security and software based services. Because I have to plan what I will give my client, I have to implement it, and I have to control it. Second will be safe and efficient services using different hardware and software products. I am providing the service, so I will have also invested in different hardware, different software, which I will have to keep up to date and serviced. Third, I will have to keep checking for mistakes and reinforcing the errors, because every day there are new developments in physical security as well as cyber security. Now, all of these factors contribute towards a continuous monitoring, investment, evaluating environment, which is naturally going to be very capital intensive. Security providing is not a small simple job in today's world. Capital intensive nature of this industry comes up over here. So this brings in your capital structure related questions. Debt, equity, the balance of debt and equity, your weighted average cost of capital becomes very important over here. This is your F3 syllabus. This is a top issue, and they do often ask this in the exam. And later on, when we go to financial statement analysis as well, we will further understand the financial strength of my company, and then we will be able to better suggest if our company should go for debt or equity. But right now, capital intensive nature of this industry is very clear. So because of the complications in these services, value is generated for companies like Saefwell. So why do people hire security companies? Because all of this doing internally is not going to be very possible. So this is something that we can market around, that we provide so many different services and we are experts. So that is why companies like SafeWell are really doing well in the market. Some security companies combine, let me just rearrange my screen. So some security companies combine security services with facility management as well. So rather than focusing exclusively on security. For example, Grover Facilities provides its clients with a wide variety of services such as cleaning and property maintenance, in addition to site guarding, mobile guarding, remote services. So this Grover Facilities is a fictional company that they have given you again in the pre-scene itself. But they are telling you that this company is taking security to another level and providing other services as well, like facility management. So like I said, keeping an eye on the market, keeping an eye on competitors, always knowing what you can do extra to increase your revenues is going to be important in this industry. So the providing of security services with machines and humans in this active ecosystem raises security breach risk. Because let's say you are a company which is a security company, you are providing all of these different services. Because you are providing these different services, firstly you will be having lots of employees who you have employed to provide this security, either physical or digital. So there is health and safety risk which comes into the picture. Second, there can be risk that your own systems as a security company are breached. If your systems are breached, then naturally your client's data will be breached. So because of the nature of our business, health and safety, security breach, and many other risks start to come to our mind. So risk is going to be an inevitable part of the business, and controlling the same or reducing the same to the highest possible level is going to be very important. And all of us know many cases around the world today where lapses have caused companies to pay millions in lawsuits. Lapse in their risk management has caused companies to pay millions in lawsuits. In the strategic case study exam specifically for your company, like I said, you should be having a list of topics which I am mentioning. Secondly, you should also be having a list of risks which your company faces, because risk management is very truly asked in the exam in different ways. So if you know the different risks which your company is facing from the very beginning and you are aware of them, then creating an answer on risk management will become very easy and simple for you. So have this habit from the beginning to have a list of risks as well which your company can face. After that, we are going to an information chart which says that SafeWell has the second highest global revenues of all security companies. So in the entire world, they are saying SafeWell is the second largest company offering security solutions. So doesn't this mean that you are a very large company, because this is all over the world and your turnover is above close to 16-17 billion dollars. It's a very large company. Above us, there is only one company which is Grover Facilities, which is almost at 29 billion dollars. So Grover is almost 1.5 to 2 times larger than us, but second in the world is SafeWell. So you are pretty much in a strong dominant market position. Let's remember this. Some security companies specialize in intelligence-led services. Risumto, Viscoprov, and Poldor Safe focus on advising and training clients. So they're saying that there are some companies which only focus on some niches, which means that these 2-3 companies that they've mentioned, they specialize in intelligence services. Minitron, Kinetic Alarm and Tremwell Guard, 3 other companies, focus on protecting client, staff and property through on-site guarding, mobile guarding, remote services. So these are niche companies. 3 companies first focusing on intelligence-led services. The next 3 companies focusing on protecting client, staff and property. Gralda, Brotto and Saefwell focus on security, offering both physical and intelligence-led. So we are looking at all of these services combined. That's what they're trying to tell us, and naturally that has to be the case. Only then we can be such a large player in the market. Now these are all driving factors for my industry and company, that there are many, there are many competitors in this market. There are many opportunities in the market. So I've already mentioned the importance of segmentation and external market analysis for you up until now. Next, physical security services have been detailed upon over here. Now, physical security services involve the provision of trained staff to undertake one or more security duties. Simple. These range from staffing reception areas, checking credentials, patrolling, asking potential intruders to explain their presence, normal physical security stuff. Many countries have legislations that require security staff to be licensed if they are employed to carry out frontline work on behalf of third parties. So the need for a license, the regulation is coming into the picture over here. So it's very natural that, some staff, let's say you are such a large company, 1 or 2 or some staff, let's say 1%, 5% of your staff, you are quickly looking to hire to fulfill a security job, and that is why you don't check their credentials properly. You don't check the credentials of your newly hired security staff, and you then realize something goes wrong at that particular site, and then you realize that your staff does not have the needed license. It could be a very big risk for your company, right? So inherent risk in this business is quite high. Fraud risk. Like I said, for example, the employee not giving you their license or giving you a fake license which you have not been able to check is a fraud that occurred within your organization, is a malfeasance that occurred within your organization. So inherent risk in this business is quite high, and fraud risk in many different ways. Fraud risk indicators, fraud risk management is something very important from your P3 syllabus. This is just one example, one scenario that I gave you which came to my mind. But they can ask fraud risk in many different ways to you. So licenses are required for guarding property, operating surveillance equipment like your CCTVs, and holding keys on behalf of third parties. All of this is, all of these are jobs which require licenses. You just can't have any person do this job. There are government rules as well. Licenses are granted to applicants who have completed an approved training course and have passed the assessment. The government's licensing authority then carries out a criminal record check to confirm that the employee that you are, the person that has gone through this training does not have any offenses. License holders must inform the licensing authority if they are charged of any criminal offense. Like I said, if they don't and it goes through, if they become part of your organization because you don't have strong internal controls, there is strong risk of fraud, there is strong risk of malfeasance, strong risk of something going wrong, which will cost your company dearly. So licenses are, this is your P3 syllabus. Licenses are not normally required for security staff who are employed directly by the company that uses their services. So because third parties are involved, for example, X company is employing SafeWell to give them security, physical security personnel. then licenses become required. But if me as a company, I'm directly going outside and hiring people, then licenses are not needed generally, because a third party comes into the picture. So licenses become important because the government has interfered now to protect the well-being of its, of the entire regulatory system. Global security companies such as Saefwell and Grover Facilities tend to restrict their provision of physical security services to countries where their staff are unlikely to be at a serious risk of physical harm. Let's say your staff has been employed in a country where there is high physical security risk, which means a country that has a lot of prevalence of firearms, illegal stuff. Then naturally your employee is at more risk, right? Because if he's protecting an asset, and if there is a lot of let's say corruption or a lot of illegal activity going on within the country, and there are less rules to control this, it's not a very safe country, then naturally your staff is at very high risk. So a safety risk is coming to the picture over here because of the nature of your services. Again, health and safety. So I hope you started curating your list of risks, which I am repeatedly mentioning. Security staff do not have the same power as police officers. Police officers have the power to arrest individuals. But security companies train their staff to contact the police if they feel that something wrong is going on, and they are asked to observe and record events from a safe distance wherever possible. So large companies like Saefwell and Grover will only provide physical security in countries which are in countries where there is strong rules, strong police presence, and less physical harm to your personnel. So security companies carry out their own risk assessments before committing staff. So large companies, specifically Saefwell, Grover, will need to have very, very good, strong risk assessment techniques. So for us as a service provider in this industry, it will be very important to have a robust risk assessment department to protect ourselves and protect our employees against damages and claims. The employee can be damaged, the asset the employee is protecting can be damaged if there is anything wrong that goes on from the physical security side. So P3 syllabus. For this reason, throughout the organization, so that risk is assessed well, proper critical success factors, proper KPIs, key performance indicators will be needed. This is your E3 syllabus. Because only then people will understand within the organization the importance of risk assessment. The customer's need and requirement will have to be controlled carefully. Just because a customer requires physical security, you don't provide it. You need to carry out your own risk assessment as well. The concept of considering all factors when making a decision, suitability, acceptability, feasibility, need to be kept in mind over here. This is your E3 syllabus, strategic decision making. So you see, my entire pre-scene analysis is candid, is very to the point, is pointing out important areas. You need to be smart and attentive enough to make sure that it's to make sure that it's making sense, and to make sure that you just go through it multiple times is something that you will have to work towards. So sometimes these companies will refuse to accept assignments that would place their staff in physical danger, because at the end of the day it's going to come back to them, right? Because it's your staff. For example, staff being asked to patrol warehouses where goods are being loaded and unloaded are issued high visibility jackets, safety helmets, and all of that. Reception staff in city center offices may require a little more than uniforms that identify them as security staff. So providing security is not just a service. Risk assessment has to be created before you provide that service. So we spoke about physical security, now intelligence. So intelligence-led services tend to require specialist consultants. Not anybody, not just anybody today can come up and start offering intelligence-led services. Clients will usually be seeking advice on specific matters that require expertise. So having expert consultants part of your organization will be very, very important. For example, a client might want some reassurance that its security systems are effective and could ask a security company to attempt to gain access without being detected. That could involve using a team of security experts, using the same techniques which criminals would use. But for that, you'll need those experts, right? If somebody comes to you and tells you, okay, check my cybersecurity framework or check my website security, you need to have you need to have those experts within your organization who can provide this, right? So this is an expert field. Since any system that you use will be using data, and the types of cybersecurity risks and protections against the same must also be kept in mind. So remember, firstly, whenever you are doing any intelligence-led services, data plays a role. The data that you have, the data that you have gathered, the data that you will receive from your customer to provide those services. So data will play a very important role. And because data is coming into the picture, the protection of this data, which is in your P3 syllabus, different digital security techniques, tools become very, very important for you to know and understand as a company. Evidence of weaknesses might then be presented to senior management. Clients might make a similar request to test the security of their online systems. Again, consultants would apply the same techniques used by hackers. So a very favorite exam question which I can clearly see over here is that an intelligence-led service we supplied malfunctions and does not prevent a cyber attack. There was a problem, we provided the service and we said everything is okay. But there was still a problem which we didn't detect. So we didn't prevent a cyber attack. The board of directors and the company is blamed for this, Saefwell is blamed for this, and our governance comes into the picture. Our internal controls come into the picture. So your corporate governance can be tested this way. Your internal controls can be tested this way. I'm giving you straightforward exam scenarios which can come up. Naturally, I'm pointing this out. Second, you will revise this. And third, I will make you write mock questions on this. So there is no chance of any loophole being left in our study pattern as long as you follow, the detailing that I am doing. The objective of such an exercise is hopefully to confirm that the targeted systems and files are not vulnerable. Although a successful attempt to hack the system will alert the client as to the system's shortcomings and allow a solution to be developed. So this is pretty much your penetration testing concept, where you as a security service provider are trying to penetrate the systems of your client to understand where the weakness is. This is penetration testing. From the industry analysis we know, which is the very growing market. Lots of companies are doing this. And from your P3 syllabus, penetration testing should be something that you are clear about. The types of testing, system integration to conduct penetration testing will be highly reliant on technology. Hence, again, your data topics, protection of data topics is coming into the picture over here. And all of this is very, very skilled work. Because this is skilled work, you will need skilled employees, and skilled employees are not cheap, right? So capital intensive nature of this industry is again coming to the fore, is again coming up for you. Next, assignments may be relatively unstructured, which means new different assignments can come up all the time. For example, a client may be considering locating a new factory in a foreign country. The client may be concerned about financial risks associated with investment in the country and health and safety risks. So here a security company might use a combination of desk research data that you have and site visits, consultants visiting the site to investigate the risks. So see how different and varying the jobs that we do as a security company can be. So security companies recruit consulting staff from a variety of different backgrounds because of the variety of different jobs that they are needed to be doing. Training and expertise from disciplines such as auditing will be useful in ensuring that staff can offer expertise in areas such as IT security, fraud investigation, so on and so forth. So we will need experts from different areas, specifically audit as well. So internal control background of the staff, auditing staff is very important. Some assignments also require strong interpersonal skill. For example, the easiest way to enter a secure site is to persuade a security guard. If consultants can trick the guards, then so can intruders. If, for example, again, hackers often ask members of staff for their username and passwords. So if a consultant knows that, has the experience that, okay, this is something what happens in the industry, then they can move to prevent it. So the expertise of your consultants is going to be a differentiating factor for your company. Intelligence-led security services tend to focus on strategic or governance matters and are intended to provide clients' boards with assurance that they require with regard to strategic or governance risks. So if a company figures out that, online security is a strategic risk for my company, then they will look to hire a security company like ours to give them assurance that, okay, their risk is being looked at. So we are given a very big responsibility. The open-ended nature of work that these firms can undertake often puts them in competition with a whole variety of different firms, because we do so much. Grover, which is the largest company in the world in this market, given in the pre-scene, even does facility management, which has nothing to do with security. So there is a very open-ended nature of work, and lots of different avenues are being explored by different companies, and because of this, the nature of the competition will be very high. So to stay ahead, you might need to look at acquisitions, mergers, strategic alliances. This is in your E3 syllabus. So this can be ways of growing. Ansof's matrix is one big single model which is often asked in the exam, where you are pursuing strategies of growth. So the strategies of growth and these different growth ways or instruments like acquisition, mergers that I mentioned is part of your E3 syllabus. So now we are starting to see the far-reaching access of this market, of the security management services market. It's a big market. It's a big industry. Focusing on the right areas and using data is going to be key. And we already know that this market is a huge market worldwide and is a big market in Barland as well. So this is also an indication that other markets around the world have lucrative opportunities for expansion, which we have learned in the industry analysis as well. This is there in our industry analysis as well, right? So now after all of this discussion, we have finally come to the discussion of our company, which is SafeWell. On your screen, you see the explanation of SafeWell, which now I am going to begin with. So up until now, please be clear of the introduction part. Please be clear of the, just the industry background that we did as part of the pre-scene. And I hope you have curated your list of topics and list of risks, which I have pointed out as important. Lot more coming ahead, but so far I hope you are comfortable. So after carefully going through all of this information, it brings me to the end of part number 1. This is only part 1. Part 2 is details about SafeWell and our company operations. Part 3 is a detailed financial analysis. Everything is ready for you, coming to you at the right time. So I hope you found part 1 helpful. For access to our full pre-scene analysis, our mock questions, and a whole lot of other innovative material, including our first ever in the entire world, Fin AI, artificial intelligence to help you revise. You can write to our team on help@finntutors.com and they will help you sign up. Or you can visit my SCS page, finntutors.com/SCS. Just put it on your web, on your browser, and the SCS page will open up. You'll see the different options that we have, and you can sign up to our course to get access to our full material, which we have very well curated for you and which we are ready to share with you as soon as you start following our instructions. I hope you have found part 1 helpful. A detailed pre-scene analysis is the key to success for the SCS exam. Thank you, everybody.